Good afternoon and welcome to our session this afternoon. Coming to you live from Windhoek, Namibia is Simone Shehepo Mulamata from the Vision, Identity and Purpose Network. Thank you for signing up. If you are there, if you can hear me, just give me a thumbs up. You can just say good afternoon or give me a thumbs up. Just give me an indication that you can hear me. I will just give a few seconds for you to get on board, to sign up, and then I will start. If you can hear me, just give me an indication. If you are there, just give me an indication. Okay, I'm going to move on going into the session because we only have 30 minutes, and I believe that a lot of you are busy with other things. You are at work, or maybe you are occupied. Good afternoon, Kumbo. I can see you all the way from Zambia. Proud to have you here. And Sam, good afternoon, all the way from Windhoek, Namibia. It is good to have you on board. And anyone who comes up later, or if you are watching replay, please just type hashtag replay. This afternoon, I've got a specific session for you, and I'm going to try to share the screen. So please bear with me. I'm going to share the screen, and if you are able to see, you can just let me know. Can you see the screen? I'm trying to share the screen. Can anybody see the screen? Can you hear me? Can you give me an indication as to whether you can hear me? Hello, are we still together? Can you hear me? Okay, I will continue, and you can just indicate if you can hear me. I'm going ahead. As I said, I'm Simone coming to you live from Windhoek, Namibia, and I've got a few pointers that I want to share with you this afternoon. Very important pointers. So if my screen disappears, please just let me know. I do not have the same view as you. Alrighty. This afternoon, we are going to look at specific sessions, very specific sessions. I'm looking at Unlocking Your Greatness Part 2, and I have only few points for us here that we are going to talk about. We are going to talk on multi-passionate creative, and we are going to talk on wealth creation, and then confronting the change. Confronting the change. Are we still together? Give me a thumbs up if you are still there, if we are still together, if you can still hear me. For those of you who are watching from elsewhere that I cannot view here, I'm Simone coming to you live from Namibia. Welcome on board. Yesterday, I concluded with multi-passionate creative. And the reason why I decided to take this session is many of us want to do more than one thing at the same time. And sometimes we do not get to do what we need to do because we've got so many things. We're excited, we're bubbling with potential, we're bubbling with vision, we're bubbling with purpose, and we want to move it to the next level. And many times, also, like in the time of COVID-19, we actually realized that we could have started much earlier. We've wasted a lot of time, and that is why we want to do so many things at once. If you've ever done business, whether you were selling ice or fat cakes, whether you were running a transport company, whether you had a large enterprise, you should know that there are times that business fail. Statistics shows that 80% of businesses fail within the first 3 years. But statistics also show that if your business is still standing within the first 3 years, whether you failed in between or not, there is something that you are doing right. One of the reasons why we fail to pull through and push through is because we are multi-passionate creative and nobody helps us to do something about that. Again, in addition to that, I have posted out a worksheet 2 days ago, and if you have your worksheet, you can still follow on the worksheet, because we will touch on issues like limiting beliefs. We will touch on issues like your barriers to achieve that which you ought to achieve. So now, under multi-passionate creative, I've got a few pointers that I want to elaborate on. I said yesterday, how do you know that you are multi-passionate creative? You not only have many interests, but you also have many talents, and that is many of us. But it's important. It's one thing to be curious about something, and it's another thing to be good at many things. The person who's good at many things is the one who's multi-passionate creative. And the multi-passionate creative person can be focused and goal-directed when they take on something, and they are constantly uncovering new skills, and they are troubled with their line of work. Sometimes you've studied something and you don't know whether that is what you want to do. Some of you are busy with studies, but you are not sure whether that is where you want to end up. It's a sign of being multi-passionate creative. Another sign of being multi-passionate creative is you are triggered by the phrase jack of all trades and master of none. I want people, do not let anybody call you that, because as a multi-passionate creative, you can master many things. Your creativity enables you to master, and as long as you are focused, you can master that which you are focusing on. Another sign is you apply your creativity as needed. It fuels growth and it fuels prosperity. Once you apply it, it fuels your growth. Now, at this point, if you can identify with this, I just want you to give me an indication it is me, or I can identify with it. Just give me an indication. Another sign that you are multi-passionate creative is choosing one. If you are told to make a choice, where do you want to start first? It is almost like torture. Yesterday, I gave an example of, if you like chocolates like me and you are brought in an environment where there's a lot of chocolates and you have to make a choice. It feels like torture, because you feel you want everything, you feel you need everything. But when we can openly share as multi-passionate creatives, we feel empowered. If we can share, I'm doing this and that, you feel empowered. Similarly, you will break out in sweat if somebody tells you, okay, you are great, but where do you want to start first? That is also a sign of multi-passionate creative, because you've got so many, you don't know where to start. Our process of choosing looks different than most. If you are multi-passionate creative like me, your process of choosing looks different than most. Many other people might tell you, no, I'm choosing this, I'm choosing that. But in your case, you feel, if I choose this one, that one will stand still. And you always need some more time to go and think over, to dabble, to explore, to express yourself in multiple ways before you can settle on one thing. But even then, that one thing will be, having different things that you attach it to. So these are signs of being multi-passionate creative. A fourth sign of being multi-passionate creative is you are a master at creative problem solving. The ability to embrace inclusive thinking and creative problem solving is a gift of a multi-passionate creative person. You see the connections that other people miss. That is a gift to a person who's multi-passionate creative. And that is your superpower. That is why I'm calling it your gift. It's your superpower. You see what others don't see. You see if something is going to flop. You see if they are going the wrong direction. But you also see if they are on course. So important hint for people that are multi-passionate creative is be sensitive about your approach when you doubt something. Be sensitive about your approach. What am I saying? You are supposed to take that thing on which you doubt, because creativity will allow you to do anything to get it done. The fifth and last thing of being multi-passionate creative is you have an inherent desire to share your gifts. Wherever you come in groups, if you are a young person in a group, you want to share, you want to pursue, you want to indulge, you want to ask questions. But you also want to share your gift to the entire world. You dream about opening your own restaurant. You dream about having that large enterprise. You want, if you have a soccer team, for example, you want them to go on soccer tournaments and tours. If you have a band or a praise team, you want to tour with them. You want to publish research papers. You want to write articles. You want to have new inventions. You want to start a blog on your own. These are signs of people that are multi-passionate, creative. Now, I want you to indicate to me if you can identify with that. You can indicate to me that is me. I am identifying with myself, because in this day and age of COVID-19, the economics are changing. The workplace environment is changing. It is important for us to understand how to apply our multi-passionate creativity. I had four people that I know that are great business people. One of them was my mentee. We applied the concept of being multi-passionate creative during the time of COVID-19, and she managed to retain all her staff. She managed to have a turnover that she has every year. She's running her own private clinic, for your information. And you know, running a private clinic in Namibia, it's something roughly between 4 to 600,000 per month. She managed not to retrench any staff member. She managed to implement new things. A lot of creativity came along with that. So that is what happens when you are multi-passionate creative. Now, to the multi-passionate creator, you are a wealth creator. And I have one statement for you. Your wealth is embedded in the impression of your creativity, or the expression of your creativity. When you express your creativity within what you are dreaming about, that is where you create your wealth. If you have any questions at this point in time, I would like you to type those questions in the box. I cannot see whether you are still with me, but please type your questions in the comments box and I'll be able to respond to you after the session. Thank you very much for signing up and for being with me. We are briefly going to talk about the wealth creation. Now, as you all know, we only have 30 minutes. And as I said yesterday, wealth creation is comprehensive. It involves your entire life: physical, social, psychological, your mental, your spiritual life, and everything else that ends with AL at the end. It involves everything. But making money is only limited to a few things. And I said earlier, if you want to make it in life and you want to make it great, purpose to be a wealth creator, because wealth creation is inevitable without becoming rich or without riches. But making money can fall through your fingers, slip through your fingers in no time. So there is a vast difference. Let's talk a bit about wealth creation. Wealth creation is a product of somebody's thinking capacity. That means somebody's creativity. And I just spoke of multi-passionate creativity. If you apply that creativity, being multi-passionate, you can become wealthy in good time. When I say in good time, it can be gradual, it can be constant. It doesn't have to go with so many breaks in between and falls and falters in between. Yes, you will have your lows and your highs, but you will see a gradual increase and a gradual growth. Human beings have enormous capacity, thinking capacity. And that is why when people say ETC, I wonder whether they understand. For me, ETC is for the dead people, because ETC means end of thinking capacity, and laziness. Laziness to think is a sin. What I do in my personal life is I do thinking clinics. I do thinking clinics where I think things through. I plan things. I work out plans. Where do I see myself in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time? What do I want to have? Large enterprise. How do I want to evolve in whatever I am doing? So let's talk a little bit about wealth creation. Wealth creation comes from implementing thoughts and ideas. Yesterday I said it's not money that makes rich and keep you rich, it's thoughts and ideas. Because if COVID-19 comes and all your money goes, your thoughts and ideas will sustain you. New thoughts, new ideas, innovative thinking and creativity. Now you are your first resource. How effectively do I utilize myself as the resource if I am my first resource? God creates us with unlimited potential, and then the Bible tells us He loads us daily. You already have unlimited potential, and then you are loaded daily, and everything He gives us pertaining to life and godliness is inside of you. And if you don't have everything, it is not a lie that the Word of God is telling us that we have everything. It's inside of us, it's untapped. What are you doing about your economic destiny? What are you doing about your economic destiny? In a time of COVID-19, what are you doing about your economic destiny? I want to leave you with that question. Write it down if you are listening to this session, because that is where I support individuals in mentorship and in coaching, depending on your need and depending on your level, where you are at with your personal wealth creation. We need to stop depending on people, my uncles, my aunties, my rich family members. Let's stop depending on government systems. Let's stop depending on an employer, because a job can never make you rich. We need to start the process, and that will help us to address the fears and the barriers. You will never know what you fear. You will never know what are your barriers. You will never know what are your strengths. And you will never know what are your weaknesses if you do not start the process of wealth creation. Now, you heard me saying it is a process. The mere fact that it's a process, it means there's time involved, there's action involved, and procedure involved. And there is a waiting period. What do I mean by a waiting period? If something takes 2 days, I do it for 2 days. I wait for the 2 days that I'm doing it for me to get to a next level. Many people want wealth. They want the comfort, but they reject the process and the giver that gives wealth, or the thoughts and ideas for wealth. But because it is a process, I want to encourage you to start now. Why am I saying start now? Why am I saying start now? Because all great things start small. All great things start small. We need to understand that all great things start small. You yourself, you were born and you were 0 years old, and you grew up until you were 1 year old. Today you are in your 20s or your 30s or your 40s or your 50s, but you are great, but you started small. Great in age, you started small. Great in whatever you are great at, you started small. Everything great you see, even the building, the construction of a building, started small. There are only 3 things that I can mention that starts from the top. There are many things, but 3 things: the grave, number 1, and the fall, number 2, and number 3, the promotion always comes from above. Somebody above you is the one that will always promote you, to pull you up. So the pulling up starts from the top. Apart from that, all great things start small. Now, confronting change, confronting the change. You are here on this platform listening to me today because you recognize you need to make a change somewhere. Now, as we are listening to this, we are at different levels in our career. Some of you want to transition to a higher position. Some of you want to transition to a new company. Some of you want to start making money. Some of you want to improve on your business, maybe your clientele base or your performance in business, your performance at work. But some of you just merely want multiple streams of income, and that works very well if you are multi-passionate, creative. But there are certain things that we need to confront in order for us to embrace the change or to step into the change. You can never unlock your greatness if you do not make this change. The first thing you need to know, it takes courage to make a change. I had to leave a job, a top job or top position in a job one day. It took courage to make that change. It is intimidating because what will the people say? What will the environment say? How will things change for you? And it makes one feel self-conscious. It makes one feel so self-conscious when you make that change because everyone's eyes are on you, but you also have the what if. I want you to change the what if it fails to what if I succeed, because that is the way in which you will overcome your fear. People feel comfortable with old problems than with new solutions. You are not one of those persons if you want to unlock your wealth. They first focus on what is in it for them and what they will have to sacrifice. However, everyone that has ever made the change, they were thought to be fearless. They were afraid, but they made the change anyway. They made the sacrifice. The third thing that I want us to look at is confronting your fears. Everyone who made the change confronted their fears by taking that step. You know, there were times in my life that I had to say, I don't care what the answer will be. I'm walking in there and I'm going to sit on the table and I'm going to speak and I'm going to put my request on the table. And I came out achieving with what I wanted to. Always anticipate positive results. Always anticipate positive results. Now, I've got 3 questions for you. What are you willing to give up in order for you to pursue your goals and your dreams? What are you willing to give up in order for you to make this change? What are you willing to give up in order for you to unlock? Because that could be the lock to your key, to the lock to your greatness. What are your fears? What are your enablers? Do this exercise for yourself. And if you are interested in being mentored, come with those fears, come with those challenges, come to me with the enablers, and we do the practical side of it. We do the practical side of it. What are you willing to change? And we will do the practical side of it. And lastly, I just want to let you know I am available if you need counseling or mentoring. If you need counseling or mentoring, I am available. I would just want to give you a few seconds to type in for me if you are interested. If you feel this is for you, please just give me an indication. I lost my screen there. My apologies. If you have seen the last slide I'm showing now, I don't know if you are able to see the slides. I don't get any indication from anybody. So, call to action. I've got 3 programs for a call to action. Number 1, the mentoring, the coaching, and the courses. What I have available from end of February, I will release an online course, the 21 practical steps to building permanent wealth. Practical steps to building permanent wealth. If you are interested, if you need information, please contact me. The second thing is I work or I mentor multi-passionate creative entrepreneurs. Please come and see me if you feel you are that person and you want to do more than one thing at a time. I will guide you and lead you through coaching on how to choose the first one, start up with the first one, get to a certain level with the first one, and how you integrate the second and the third and the fourth. I also support through mentoring transition from job to work, from job to work. So that is what I have in store for you this afternoon. I'm Simone coming to you live from Windhoek, Namibia. If you're interested in coaching and mentoring, if you are interested in partnering, if you are interested in playing a role in this group, becoming an admin, please you can just give me a me, or you can inbox me so that I can come back to you. Thank you very much. Have a great day.